And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with the Game Boy Geek.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. When I was a kid, I used to play these 2D, like Mario Brothers Nintendo games, and it was like these 2D levels where you're going up and around. Today we're going to be doing a drawing game that looks and feels like a 2D Nintendo game. We're talking about Loony Quest. This is the big brother to Doodle Quest, which some of you may be familiar with. You're going to be drawing, trying to score some points. You're not drawing pictures, you're actually just trying to trace your way through a level. Let me show you how it's played. At the beginning of Loony Quest, you get to pick your character, which gives you this in front of you, lets everyone know what color you are, and a scoring stick. Now, Loony Quest comes with this cool poster that shows you that there's 7 different worlds, and each world has 6 levels. So there's a total of 42 different levels here in the whole entire game, and you get to pick which level you're going to start on. They start at 1, which is the easiest, and gets a lot harder as it gets to World 7. So depending on how many times you've played the game or who you're playing with, you'll decide which level of difficulty you'd like. Let's show you World 2. Now the game box acts as the actual board in this game, and it acts as the score points. So let's see, we're on World 2, Level 1 here. Let's take a closer look. Now each one has some symbols down here that tells you what you're trying to do. In this case, we're going to make one continuous line from a start to a finish, and we're going to be starting at the start line here, and we're going to be, the start line here, and we're going to be finishing where the checkered flag is down here. So we're going to be starting here, we're going to be trying to draw one line down here. We're all going to have our own transparency to do this on. Now, if you do that, you're going to get 3 points. For every star that you draw over or touch, you're going to get another point. However, if you touch any of these rocket guys in any way, you're going to lose 2 points. And if you touch any of these barricades, you're going to lose 1 point. Now, when you lose points, you only lose points for every different drawing. In this case, we're only doing 1. So if you hit one of these guys, it's -2. If you hit more than 1, it's still -2. Same for that. So let's take a look of how this works. So everyone takes a board, and the board has a nice cool Loony Quest thing on it, but on the back side it's white. This is the side you're going to use, and everyone takes a transparency. They're going to place the transparency on their white board, and they're going to put it up kind of with the same line of the box. So you'll have one person on each side of the box. If you have 5 players, 2 of them will be a little bit off center there, like that. We are going to start the timer, and then you are going to try and draw, getting the bonuses and things like that. Now here is these are power-ups that will help you, and these are penalties that will hurt you. Let's see how I do. Now let's see, the pens are cool. They have a little eraser on them here. So you go like that, you start the timer, and everybody would draw at the same time. So let's see, I'll go like this, like this. I'll go like this. Done. Okay, let's see how I did. Now before that, there are some things you can't do. For example, you can't do 2 lines like that. You can't let the line touch itself like that. They can't branch off. They can't do loops, things like that. So I'm gonna, one at a time, we're gonna take the transparency and we go with whoever's in the last place. At the beginning, it's basically gonna be the oldest player will go first, the youngest player will go last, because whoever goes last, who is in the last place, has an advantage. I'll show you why later. All right, ooh, oh, terrible. Okay, so what, oh my gosh, awful. So we started here, and we go across. Let's check out the victory condition, which is draw one line from here to here. I did that, so I get 3 points for that. Stars, 1, 2. I only touched 2 stars, so I'd get 2 more points for that. So I'm at 5 right now. But I didn't touch either power-up, but I did touch a penalty. And there's a big stack of penalties, and I will show you what these do in just a moment. And I did not touch any of the bad guys, but I did hit one of the barricades, so it's -1. So I've got 3. Plus 1 is 4, 5, minus 1 is 4. So I got 4 points for that one. So I would take my guy here and put him right to the 4. Now one thing I will notice about this board, it's really cool, it has the points on the outside. I really wish they would have put the points on the inside, because sometimes it's hard to read the numbers imprinted into the sleeve here. As you can see, the numbers are there as well, but it would have been nice to have the numbers on the back side too. The reason why the person in first goes first is because the people behind him have a little bit of an advantage, because if this person got 4 as well, they wouldn't stick on him, they'd actually go 1 ahead. And now if the next person got 4, they would jump ahead. And so it's good to go last. And then of course, while everyone else is looking at theirs, maybe you would use the nice little eraser to erase your board to get ready for the next round. And everybody else would see how many points they got. Now I talked about the penalties and the power-ups. Let's look at what some of those do. So when you get one of these, you flip them over. And basically this is something that you have to use. It's a penalty that you have to do next round. For example, this one here says you have to draw with your arm completely straight. You can't bend it all, so it has to be straight, so it's a little harder to get some dexterity there. This one is, when you draw on your board, you don't draw on the white side, you draw on the color side. It's just a little bit harder that way. This one is you switch hands. If you're a righty, you become a lefty, and vice versa. This one is you have to hold the pencil between your pinky and your thumb, which obviously makes it a little harder. And this one is you have to do it with one eye closed. Let's look at the power-ups. So these are bonuses in general. And so as you flip these over, these three are called pranks. This is a banana, which means what you get to do is at the beginning of the round, if you want, you can take the banana and try to toss it on someone else's board. They cannot, they have to draw around that, what makes it pretty hard for them. The mosquito is, you can give this to somebody, and when they're drawing, they have to have the mosquito balance on the pencil. And as they draw, if it falls off, they have to stop drawing, and they have to put the mosquito back on. And like that. It's not terribly hard, but it is hard. Next one is a broom. Is if you have a penalty from last round, you can use the broom and sweep this to another opponent. And these are cumulative. You can have more than one of those at a time. The other ones are called power-ups. These happen at the end of the round. One of them is just a points, where you actually get 2 extra points right away. And the other one is a shield, which is essentially, it cancels out any of the negative losses. So you have these negative losses. If you hit one, you can use this to throw it away, and you do not have that loss this round. Let me show you some of the other worlds, because you don't always just draw one line. In this case, you're trying to do a circle. You're circling 5 of these things, and you're circling these little fish. So on your transparency, you're trying to make a circle all the way around each of these fish without touching it, and you're trying to do so without touching any of the barricades. And of course, you still have the power-ups and the bonuses. We have this one here where you're trying to do dots. And for example, you're trying to put dots on the yellow dynamite, they're 2 points each, and you're trying to do them on the red dynamites, they're 1 point each. And of course, you're trying to avoid any of the bombs and any of these here. So we have level 4 here, which is another different thing, where we're drawing one line that can stop anywhere. And what you're trying to do is you have to start here, and essentially you can go anywhere and stop at any time. And you're trying to just get the stars, maybe the power-ups, but there's a key here. If you touch the key and you touch the locked place, the cage over here, you get whatever's in it. In this case, it's 2 stars. You're getting 1 point per star, and you're trying to not hit any of these blocks here, or of course the bombs there. Level 5, we have, okay, so you're trying to do, again, one line that's gonna start from here, and it can end at any point in time, and you're trying to basically go around and get as many stars as you can and stop whenever you want. If you hit any of the rocket penguin guys, it's -2. If you hit any of those, it's -1. And on every last level 6, there's a boss. In this case, you're drawing 3 separate lines. One from each line is going to come from the boss, and you're trying to draw each one to one of these stalactites. So if you do that, you get 2 points for each line that touches a different stalactite from this guy. But the bosses are tough. If you hit even one of these things, you get no points for the round. You can also try to hit the dots on the dynamite for 2 points each as well. And so the boss is a little bit harder. Anytime you mess up on a boss, you pretty much die. But those are the different types of drawings you can do. And of course, after the boss level of that world, whoever has the most points is the winner. Oh man, this game's amazing. I've played Doodle Quest before, and it was a lot of fun, and I know a lot of people that love it. Doodle Quest is for ages 6 and up. It's really geared towards smaller children, yet adults have a lot of fun with it, and I see why. Loony Quest is its big brother. It's got a little bit more going on with all the special abilities and the bonus tokens and the penalty tokens, and the worlds get a lot harder. There's 42 levels in here. That's a lot of replayability value. I like how it goes from easier to harder. Wow, amazing. This game easily is going to be on my short list for Family Game of the Year. It was a blast. It takes what Doodle Quest did, and in my opinion, improved on it to the point where, since I don't have small children, this has completely replaced Doodle Quest for me. If you have kids that are like 6, 7, yeah, maybe Doodle Quest probably is the best choice for you guys, or maybe even a little bit younger. If you have kids that are 8 or up, Loony Quest is the way to go. It was so fun. Getting those abilities and making people go with their eyes closed, or throwing the banana on them, make them draw around. And then the levels are just, I like how it gets you through the different levels. There's a couple different drawings you're doing, whether you're circling or dotting, similar to Doodle Quest. But I think the way that it did the worlds and the levels just made me feel like I was playing those 2D Nintendo games again, and I loved it. I like how each level has the boss, and each one you gotta do a certain little thing to beat the boss, but on all those levels, if you hit anything, boom, no points. And that usually is pretty swingy. Whew, awesome. I love it. Excellent family game. We played a ton of games last weekend with my family, and more than half of them said this was their favorite game that they played all weekend. We played close to 20 different games. This is huge. The only problem is it doesn't have US distribution. I talked to Asmodee, because they're the people that usually distribute to the US from this publisher. They said they have no plans currently. Gosh, I hope they change their mind, because this game's amazing. I bought this off Amazon UK or DE for it was like 40 bucks shipped, but I think now it's up to like 50 bucks shipped. So you could probably get it, and even at 50 bucks shipped, as good as this game is, it's a no-brainer buy. Get it for 50 bucks. It's amazing. That's Loony Quest.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.